We come to this place for terror. We come to Sinful Cuts to scream, to laugh, to cry. Because we need that. All of us. That overwhelming dread we feel when the lights begin to dim. And we go somewhere we've never been before. Not just terrified, but somehow possessed. Together. Horrifying images spoken directly into your ear. Kills that you can feel. Somehow, slaughter feels good in a place like this. Our slashers feel like the worst part of us. And stories feel insane and unstoppable. Because here, they are. Sinful Cuts. We make horror horrible. Hey, sinners. How you doing? It is Sean and
Shannon.
And we're here with our Shortcuts episode. And of course, that is our mini episode where we talk about all the great horror happenings for the week and hopefully point you in a good direction of stuff that's not on your radar. Movies, books, streaming, horror birthdays, and the latest news of what's going on that week. So this week, Shannon and I were just talking about it. This week is a little it's a little quiet as far as birthdays and anniversaries go. So instead of doing that, because there's really nothing, what we're going to do is we're going to do our 3 questions that we are going to be asking all of our guests. We have multiple guests for 2024. By the way, I guess, you know what? I think I'll just let the cat out of the bag right now.
Why not? Good a time as any.
We're recording The Black Coat's Daughter coming up this week, but the episode after that, which will drop on February 3rd, is going to be none other than Andy Davidson, one of my favorite authors. And if you don't know who Andy is, then I feel like that's impossible. I'm currently reading The Boatman's Daughter, and last year I read The Hollow Kind. All right, no, this is a banger, and I love every second of it, but this is possibly one of my favorite books of all time. Let me not cover Andy's name. And also, let me not cover the title. My janky fingers are horrible. So The Hollow Kind was probably one of the best, not probably, it's one of the best books I've ever read. It just... Andy has the ability to just transport you to the location, and it's nothing short of magical. It's a little bit Lovecraftian. It's hella scary, and the writing is unbelievable. So I can't wait to have Andy on, and Shannon and I are going to talk to him about none other than Catherine Bigelow's Near Dark. Yeah. So we're gonna get all kinds of vampire up in here, and I can't wait to hear what Andy. Yeah, right. I can't wait to hear what Andy has to say about it. But at the end of the episode, we pose 3 questions to all our guests, and the first one is what? And this is the question I'm going to be posing to Shannon right now, and that is, what is your scariest horror experience? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the scariest movie you ever saw. I mean the experience as a whole. It could be the movie. It could be the theater experience. It could be, the walk out to your car afterwards. It could be anything that really just shook you to your bones and was incredibly frightening. So, Shannon, I'll shut up. What do you got?
I know, I'm the guinea pig, right? So there's technically a tie. So one, I'll tell a quick story about seeing The Exorcist for the first time, because which I think I've already mentioned before, because it had a recent anniversary. I was 11 years old, and I saw it.
I don't even.
I saw it at a birthday slumber party. So it was me and a bunch of girls at a slumber party. So then we tried turning the lights off to go to sleep.
Did you get a wink of sleep?
I don't recall. I'm not sure. I remember having to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and I woke up somebody. I don't have to wake her up because I think she couldn't sleep either. But we went to the bathroom like together, which I know is like not a weird thing with girls. They do that, but I was like, no, I can't go. Like, because then I had to like walk down the stairs. Like she had an upstairs bedroom, and I walked like down this and she had a spiral staircase too. Like, so it was like straight down. Yeah.
Did you spider crawl backwards?
Not down that. No. So
letting you know.
That was probably my first experience.
I'm gonna let you know right now. I would have I just would have peed in my sleeping bag. I just would have wet my pants.
That would have been the second option for sure. Yeah, absolutely. But more recently, as the movie came out now a little while ago now, but ironically, it was The Fourth Kind. And I know there's a little controversy with that movie now because it definitely wasn't true to the way they promoted it. But after we saw
I like it though.
Oh, I really enjoyed it. I saw it in the theater. Me and my husband and a couple of friends, and I think we were still dating at the time. So, because I remember we went home back to his parents' house to go to sleep, and we both were like kind of all just shook. Like we left the theater, we got in the car. We both were like the car ride, from what I remember, was very silent. We were just like contemplating what we saw. So that's kind of, it left us like, like how we felt. So whatever, progressed through the night. We did discuss it a little bit, and then we go our separate ways. Me and my husband go inside, and we go to sleep. Now, lights are off. We're sleeping. I hear something on the fucking roof.
Come on.
I punch Matt awake. The aliens are coming! They're here! They're gonna abduct us! Would you believe, of all nights, and this never happened before or ever again, a fucking raccoon was on the roof, and because we heard it, and then it went to the side of the house, and then we hear it on the trash. So it wasn't until I was on the trash that Matt was like, he comes back, he's like, it's a raccoon. Not an alien.
You gotta be kidding me.
You're safe.
You gotta be kidding me.
But I think I was like in his bed all the way in the corner, like, with a broom. Like, just, what do I have to
do? Of course it's gonna happen the night that you see this movie.
Of all nights.
All right, so we got The Exorcist and The Fourth Kind, and Matt may have broken ribs. So, all right. So for my scariest experience, I actually have two, but I'm only going to do one right now because I'll save the other one for when we start having our guests on. But the most recent was Hereditary. Okay. So I was traveling for work, and when I used to have to travel from work, thank God I don't have to anymore. But when I used to have to travel, first thing I would do is I would check into the hotel, and I'd go downstairs, and I'd say, "Where's the closest movie theater?" And the closest good one. Give me a good movie theater, and I'd go there, and I'd just find the whatever horror movie was playing, and I'd check it out. So it happened to be Hereditary. And the theater's damn near empty. And this happened because it's Florida. It was like an outdoor mall. So you had to go through the mall, and then the theater was on the outside mall, like kind of like a little village that was outdoors. And so I go see the movie, and then of course the movie's over around 11 o'clock, and the mall is closed.
Oh my God.
So I'm coming back, and I'm pulling on the door, and it's all locked. So now I'm like, I don't know where I parked. I'm terrified because I just saw Hereditary. Yeah. I'm convinced that Paimon is now. Oh, Charlie's here, by the way. So our other mascot, we've got Harley and we've got Charlie, our two dog mascots for the podcast. Say hi, Charlie.
Not
don't.
On purpose.
So now I come to the realization that I'm going to have to walk on the outskirts of the mall to find my car. No big deal. But like I said, I'm terrified. So I call my wife, Jen, and we're just kind of like joking around. I'm like, I'm probably going to get murdered. I'm walking through the parking lot, but all the lights are on. And as I'm talking to Jen, one by one, the parking lot lights start to go out.
Come on.
In unison. So it's not like it goes dark all at once. They're literally going dark behind me, and now I start running, and they're going dark behind me, and I'm still on the phone with Jen, and I'm like, I was kidding before, but now I really am going to get murdered. Ah! So now I think I'm heading in the direction of my car, but I've come up against like this like gully. I can't go any further, and I actually have to go down an embankment. So now I thought I was getting possessed by Paimon, and then I was going to become the new king of hell, which, look, might not be that bad.
It might not be a bad gig.
But now reality set in because I have to go down this embankment, and now I'm in water up to my ankles, and now I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to get possessed. I'm going to get bitten by a snake or eaten by an alligator because it's Florida, you know?
Nice. Both terrible.
Long story short, I lived, but it was scary. it was very, very scary. So
the lights coming off definitely is a horror movie-esque at its best, at its finest, right there.
And people think I'm making it up, and I'm like, it literally, as I'm on the phone talking to my wife about how terrified I am, all of a sudden it's getting darker and darker and darker. But someone had a good sense of humor in Florida. You know?
It's because they're looking at you.
All right. Now we're gonna. This second question might be my favorite.
Okay.
We'll see. Okay. What is a horror movie that you know is bad, but you'll defend to the death?
So I'll admit I had a little problem with this one, and I have a feeling when you ask these questions, I might change my answer periodically. But I had to start.
Please do.
I would start with looking ahead at my list of movies of anniversaries to come and to explore and go look back on, and a movie I forgot about that's going to be coming up. I don't know, in a few months maybe, so I'll probably revisit that. But you ever see 2014's Clown?
Yes.
Directed by John Watts. So yep. I only bring that one up because I think me and Matt loved it when we first saw it, but then I feel like we started like talking about it and showing it to people, and like the response was like either like you don't know what you're talking about, or like it was just kind of like eh. So I feel like I'm like I never heard about it ever again.
This is controversial because I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's not a bad movie. That's
not a bad.
I think that's a good movie.
Yeah, I like that movie.
But I think if you were to poll people, it would be like a 50-50 on whether that was good or bad.
Yeah,
I think that's a solid movie.
When I look around, I'll like I couldn't think of a movie that's so like terrible that people don't love it, because I know like there's like the trauma movies, right? Like, but people love the trauma movies for being trauma movies. Like they're intentionally bad. And then there's definitely like really bad movies out there that I consider horrible movies. So I'm like, well, that doesn't answer the question correctly. So that was the first one that popped up. But as I think about it more, I'll probably have a different answer, and I'll just chime in.
I'm gonna give you my answer because I think I nailed it with this question, because I do think this is a truly awful movie, and that would be Truth or Dare, starring Lucy Hale. I think it's like 2017, 2018.
Okay.
It's really bad.
I liked it.
I don't know why I like it, but I do. I'll defend it.
Yeah, I liked that movie.
Oh, you did?
That's a good movie.
Oh, no. This question's turning out to be horrible.
At least if it's the same movie, it's only one, right? Like kind of recently?
I think there's Madonna's Truth or Dare, which could be horrible in its own right. Or wonderful in its own right. And maybe we will defend Madonna's Truth or Dare. But I know there's a couple of Truth or Dare movies, but this is the one with Lucy Hale from Pretty Little Liars. And I feel horrible. Yeah, I feel horrible when I can't remember actors' names.
I know. But that has
the dude from Teen Wolf.
And I remember I remember like they had to like put their hand on the stove, and then they had to like start cutting off like their limbs and like finger. Like I like the dares were horrible. Like it was, yeah. I enjoyed it, and then like I think it had like a pretty synonymous ending too, if I remember.
Well, she basically curses the entire world in order to buy herself, years and years of not having to worry about the curse. Because she puts on social media and she curses anyone who watches it now gets cursed, which is actually pretty clever. But I think I think we can definitively say, if you're going to look at a Rotten Tomatoes score, that this is for sure a splat, and people do not think this is a good movie. But that's what I love about Horror Junkies, is we'll find the good in anything.
Probably. I know it's a very hard question to ask, especially in the horror genre. But
all right, this third one though could be the hardest. This third one could be the hardest of all.
Yes.
All right, so give me a horror remake. Now, you can, any horror movie that you would love to see remade. Mm-hmm. Who is the director? And it could be someone deceased. You could pick Alfred Hitchcock. You could pick Tobe Hooper. And who is the star of it? And also could be someone deceased. All of a sudden you're like, I got to see Max Schreck and the new Scream.
You did not tell me it was that involved. You just said, what movie do you want to see get remade? I'm like,
okay, all right.
This isn't a fantasy league of my own remake.
My God, you and I might be onto a $1 billion idea. Fantasy horror movies. Trademark. TM. Of the 4 people that are going to watch this, one of them is going to be like, yes.
Excellent.
Excellent. Okay. Forget I said anything except for the remake. I need to know your remake. What's it going to be?
Okay. So I probably have a very random answer.
I want to hear it.
But I think we're kind of due for another Dorian Gray. Right? It's been we got it a little bit in if you ever watched Penny Dreadful.
Only every episode. Hello, Josh Hartnett. Oh wait, I meant Eva Green.
I was about to say Eva Green. I love Eva Green. I meant
Josh Hartnett. Mm. That show, Sinners. If you haven't watched Penny Dreadful, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
It was incredible, absolutely incredible.
Oh. And you know what? I'm going to rewatch it. I'm going to start rewatching it. Thank you.
Yeah, I may have to as well, because everybody in it was perfect, like absolutely perfect. Absolutely. Dr. Frankenstein's whole his monologue of why he wanted to bringing life back from the dead, like that was like he's like that, like there was a whole monologue that he explains. I know I kind of jumped at whatever, but there's a whole reason why he explained why that's his bread and butter. That's what he wants to do. It was like the most like beautiful monologue I think I've ever heard of that alone.
Shannon, how about just the fact, look at the talent involved. We've got Josh Hartnett. We've got Billy Piper. You've got Rory Kinnear. You've got, oh my God, holy James Bond kissable face Hall of Fame, Timothy Dalton. Yeah. Are you nuts? Did I mention Eva Green?
Yes, maybe.
I mean,
worthy. It's worthy again.
Oh my God, I think I might start watching that tonight.
I loved it. But but either way, before that was what, the 1990 version? Dorian Gray? Before that was a 50s version?
Time out for 1 second. I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I'm not sorry at all, Sinners. This is what I live for.
Not ever.
Who played Dorian Gray in Penny Dreadful? I mean, of course, it's like Johnny Handsome Face, but I can't remember who the actor was. Do you remember?
And not off the top of my head, but I do. I actually follow him too on Instagram. He seems like a really like fun fellow. Hold on one moment. I will have it.
I want to say it's Ben Barnes, but I'm sorry, who?
Reeve Carney.
Okay, good on you, Reeve Carney. You did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder. Okay. Damn it. Okay. Yeah, I really got to rewatch that. Oh, that is going to be, I'm so happy that you said that. So Dorian Gray, you know what? I agree with you 100%. We definitely need a new Dorian Gray. It's such a great story.
It's an amazing story. I loved the book.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is a great book. You know what else is a great book? The Hollow Kind by Andy Davidson.
See what you did there?
Did I mention The Boatman's Daughter by Andy Davidson?
I see what you did there. So okay. 2009 was technically the last one. Before that was 77. Before that was 45.
What the hell was the 77? Because that sounds interesting.
Let's see. These names look very French. The director's name is Pierre Buffon.
Pierre Buffon from Hohokus, New Jersey. Yeah, no, I know the Buffon family. All right, so that's a French movie, which you know I love. Did I mention there's a French spider movie coming?
Only every single episode, but I'm so excited to see it.
Shannon, I swear to God, it's a compulsion. Every day I wake up and I just check all the New York movie theaters. Is anyone playing it yet? Is it in the coming soon? And not yet, but trust me, it'll be that moment. It'll be that Scrooge moment when it actually posts and I open the window and I'm like, it's here, people. It's here.
It's here. It's a goose.
All right. So I have two, but I'm only going to give you one.
Okay. I definitely had two as well. So that was my one.
Oh, no. So save.
The other one isn't really a horror movie. It's just a movie I love and adore. And I don't know, maybe a remake could work, but you go first.
I don't hold on to it. I don't want to hear it because we have 13 guests and we're going to have to find movies to talk about with our guests. But okay, are you ready? I want to see Edgar Wright. I am going to do it the director because I've been thinking about it. I want to see.
You had time.
I did. That's the benefit of the guy who comes up with the questions and already knows the answer. So I want to see Edgar Wright direct not one, but both Dr. Phibes movies. Okay. So I want the Abominable Dr. Phibes, and then I want the return of the Abominable Dr. Phibes, and I want him to do it in his Edgar Wright style, which is actually very much in line with what the originals were, I'm sure, but I would love to see that. And I don't necessarily have an actor picked out, so I'll just leave it at that. But I think that we are. I think we're very much ready for almost like a whole relaunch of those Amicus pictures from the 70s from England. You know, I'm not just talking about Dr. Phibes, but, you know, give me some Count Yorga. I'm not sure if that's Amicus, but I want some Count Yorga. You know, I want some Tales from the Crypt, not our beloved HBO, but the one from, I think it was 72. You know, just like give me some of that good British horror from the late 60s, early 70s. And I'm already happy with horror, but I'd be floating. So that's my answer.
Nice. I like it.
All right. Oh, I forgot we actually have shortcuts to do.
We're on to books.
All right.
Now.
You know what? We're going to do some. Yeah, we're going to. Let me just mention movies real quick. Mm-hmm. Gang, movies is one movie. It's Godzilla -1 minus color. It's the black and white Godzilla, and it is coming out this weekend. And I saw the color version, and that melted my eyeballs. So I can only imagine what the black and white is like, and I won't have to imagine much longer because I'm definitely going to see it. Nice. So Godzilla -1 minus color. Please support Godzilla. It was nominated for Best Visual Effects, and it's going to win. And I mean, you're going to be able to hear me scream when they all get their Oscar. I don't know if you saw it, but they actually, the VFX team, they taped themselves as the Oscar announcements were coming out, and they got to the VFX section, and they're announcing them, and they're all getting excited, and then they finally said Godzilla -1, and the goddamn room goes bananas, and they're shooting streamers in the air. So it was like infectious. I was so excited for them, you know.
That's awesome.
They did. I think it was only. I may be off by a person or two, but I think it was only 35 VFX artists for this movie, Shannon.
Wow.
That's it.
That's all.
I mean, you see a Marvel movie and the VFX go on for 17 minutes. It's thousands of people. And just to see what this tiny little crew did with that movie, it's why we go to the movies. Okay. So, let's start with some books, and let me put my eyeballs on. So, oh my gosh. All right. As always, you know that I have to thank Emily Hughes of Reading Jump Scares, because I steal all of her fantastic book recommendations. I've got some exciting news, Shannon.
What is your exciting news?
Guess who's going to be on the podcast?
Ooh.
None other than Emily Hughes. She's going to be.
No idea.
You had no idea.
And I had no clue.
Sinners, Emily is going to be talking to us about a few movies.
I was going to say, you didn't tell me which one she picked.
She's going to do 2 episodes, possibly 3. Ooh. So I put Emily on the spot, and if it doesn't work out, Emily, I've already overstayed my welcome and asked way too much anyway. But we are definitely going to do The Wicker Man and Midsommar, because folk horror is Emily's bread and butter. Cool. Emily emailed me just the other day, and she said, I have to do folk horror because it's my comfort food. It's my comfort watch. So I'm like, I'm so excited for this. So she's definitely going to do those 2, and she's definitely going to do It Follows later on in the year, which is going to align nicely with Emily's book Horror for Weenies. Nice. So we're gonna let Emily tell us all about the book, and then we're gonna talk about It Follows. And I've respectfully asked her, because the next week we're doing Curse of the Demon, and Emily had said, "Oh, I really love that movie." So I said, "Why don't you just stay? Why don't we do It Follows and then just stay, and we'll do Curse of the Demon, and you can do back-to-back weeks." So Sinners. Fingers crossed, because we love Emily Hughes. And if you're not on Read Jump Scares and you're not following Emily on Instagram, then when I see you on the street, I'm going to Kung Fu you. I don't know Kung Fu. I'm not going to do any of that. Beat me up.
What you're going to do, you're just going to go chop.
The podcast Sean says I'll Kung Fu you. Reality Sean would hide behind a car. So just so we're clear. All right. So here we go with a couple of books. We've got Haunted Highways. And this Haunted Highways, bear with me, is from Dark Tide Press. And we got a couple of authors here. So we've got Roland Bursey Jr., Carver Pike, and Louis Mangum. And, that came out January 26th, which is, by the time this posts, it will have already been January 26th. Okay. So embark on a journey into terror where every mile is marked by suspense and horror. These 3 novellas transform travel into a treacherous adventure where the next stop could be your last. I mean, all right. I like it. I like road trip horror. I'm a big fan.
Nice.
Next, we have Bone Pendant Girls, and that is by Terry S. Friedman. That comes out on the 30th, and that's from Camcat Press. Andy Wyndham has been able to communicate with spirits since she was a kid. A lot of people would not want that ability. I would want that ability.
You think so?
What about you?
I don't know. I go back and forth with it. Like it's a cool thing to have, but I feel like it would be very disruptive.
Maybe like you would never get a moment's rest kind of thing.
I get distracted a lot as it is anyway.
Okay. I changed my answer. I want invisibility. Okay.
I just want to fly.
See, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one too. Join us next week, sinners, as we discuss what kind of superpowers we'll never have. Let me go back to the friggin' book description. Okay, so when a bone pendant carved into the likeness of a girl's face calls to her at a gem show in Pennsylvania, shout out to Pennsylvania, home of the Colonial Theater. Check it out online, Colonial Theater. She can't resist. That's right. Yeah, that's right. She can't resist buying it, and a sister piece when she discovers the girls that are missing runaways, and the pendant is made of human bone. Is there any other kind of pendant? Andy is drawn into a mystery that will force her to confront her gifts, her guilt, and the ghosts haunting her. It sounds good. I like it. Okay. I like it. You had me at bone pendant.
Yeah.
Okay. The next book we have is The House of Last Resort, and this is by Christopher Golden, who is just a champion. It's Christopher Golden. So when a new Christopher Golden book comes out, you have to pay attention. So this is from St. Martin's Press, and this comes out on the 30th. When American couple Tommy and Kate Puglisi buy a home in a nearby abandoned Italian town of Bechina. I don't know why I made it Jewish. Bechina.
I think it's Bechina.
Bechina. It feels like a romantic adventure, an opportunity for the young couple. The young couple would be crazy not to seize. But from the moment they move in, they feel a shadow has fallen on them. There are rooms in the annex at the back of the house that they don't know, that they didn't know were there. The place makes strange noises at night. Locked doors are suddenly open. And when they go to a family gathering, there's certain people are whispering about them and about their house, which one neighbor refers to as the House of Last Resort. Okay, Christopher Golden and then a haunted house. I mean, is it my birthday? Is it the holidays? This is phenomenal. I love every word about that. And the last one we have is called...
haunting.
What's that?
A good old-fashioned haunting.
Good old-fashioned haunting, and let me tell you something. I've been craving, you know how you get food cravings? I've been craving movies and books, haunted houses.
Okay.
I got a Jones on for it right now, and let me tell you something. The movies I'm picking, they do not disappoint.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm so all over the place, but Midnight on Beacon Street is by Emily Ruth Verona. That comes out the 30th, and that's from Harper Perennial, a suspenseful and entertaining debut thriller. Oh, so good on you, Emily. This is your debut novel.
Nice.
Well done. You should be proud of yourself.
Absolutely.
And a suspenseful and entertaining debut thriller and love letter to vintage horror movies, in which a teenager must overcome her own anxiety to protect the two children she's babysitting when strangers come knocking at the door. This book is bought. I am going to get it. Are you kidding me? Midnight on Beacon Street. Actually, okay, putting that in my cart as we speak.
I know. I'm just gonna say. I'm like, just add that to my list.
Emily, you think I'm kidding? It's happening. Yeah. Okay, that's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Love it. All right, Shannon, we don't have a lot on streaming. There's The Seeding coming out. Movie is about a guy gets caught in like a canyon and he can't get out. It's kind of like a box canyon and he can't get out. And there are people up top and he thinks he's saved, but they're not letting him out. Interesting. I mean, that's horror-ish. And then we have a movie that actually came out a couple of weeks ago, but it fell off my radar and I really wanted to tell the sinners about it. It's a movie called Lord of Misrule, and this is folk horror, and it's all about like a female pastor in England. I believe her child gets abducted, and then it's kind of like how far is she willing to go? Like abducted gets folk horror, so I don't know who abducted her, but I'm sure it came out of the woods and probably isn't human. And how far she's willing to go to get her daughter back.
Okay.
I saw the trailer and I really liked it. So thumbs up for Lord of Misrule. I'm definitely willing to give it a good old fashioned watch and see, and see what we got there.
Nice.
Okay. Let's talk trailers. There's only one that I really want to put on Sinner's radar, and that is Baghead. Yeah. So, trying to keep
words.
Yeah. I mean, well, you understand what the baghead refers to in the trailer, because this young woman inherits a house, like a mansion, and in the basement there's a kept woman with a bag over her head, and she has the ability to either talk to the dead, a la Talk to Me, or maybe even like a see the future kind of thing, like, almost like a psychic ability. But I know she can talk to the dead. And from the trailer, it doesn't seem like anything good happens, which is muy bueno for horror.
A worthy horror-esque moment.
Right. We wouldn't be doing this podcast if I was like, and she can talk to the dead and everyone leaves happy and fulfilled.
Yeah.
I'll go for Tate.
The horror tongue very well.
So the last bit I've got here, which I'm excited to talk to you about, is I'm going to keep it very specific. It's only going to be about Sundance, because Sundance is going on-ish, maybe, possibly. I think it's still going on, but it was certainly going on a couple of days ago. And I've been tracking all of the horror movies that are premiered there. And if they're, don't sue us at the movies, RogerEbert.com. Okay, so the first one we have is In a Violent Nature. This is going to be a must-watch. This is like a new take on the slasher movie. It's from the perspective of the killer. So I thought that was pretty cool, and it's getting really, really good reviews. And it was bought by Shudder, so we're going to see that on Shudder in a couple of months.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'm really, really, I'm very excited about that. Then we have, I mentioned it last week on the podcast, Crazy House with Nick Frost.
Yes.
So I did get a little bit more information, and Sinners, this is just our dumb opinion. You go and see the movie. You want to see Nick Frost, go and see Nick Frost, but it's not getting good reviews.
Okay.
So,
but I always say this too. Like, if you're going to talk shit about me personally, if you're going to talk shit about a movie, I need to see it so I can talk shit about it properly.
No, you and I, that is our mantra. I mean, sometimes we fall into the trap and we correct ourselves, that we get ahead of ourselves and we're like, this sounds like it's bullshit. But go see it. Go see it. And I mean, Nick Frost.
Pleasantly surprised before.
Right? I mean, we were just talking about Truth or Dare 20 minutes ago.
It's a good movie.
And clowns. So yeah, I mean, everyone's opinion. Just go see it if you want to check it out, and then let us know. Yeah. Okay. So then we have so then we have a movie bought by Netflix. Maybe I shouldn't put that much emphasis on Netflix, but it just seems to me that if a movie does premiere at Sundance and it gets bought by Netflix, there's chances are I'm not saying it's good, but it excited a lot of people for them to go to their car and get the bag of money, So this is called It's What's Inside. And the premise of this is it's a wedding, and a former friend shows up and he's got a suitcase, and whatever's in that suitcase, it's not a gift. So we'll see how that affects everybody. I love the premise, and I can't wait to see that. So that was bought by Netflix. Then there's a movie called I Saw the TV Glow. I really know nothing about this other than the fact that it got just kisses and love letters. So we'll see what that's about. Then we have the new Kristen Stewart movie called Love Lies Bleeding. I don't know if you saw the trailer. If you haven't seen the trailer, definitely check it out. Okay. If not, to see Kristen Stewart and and her amazing acting, but to see Ed Harris, as you may never have seen Ed Harris before. The look in this movie that he has is just, it's Ed Harris. It's Ed Harris. So that's getting incredible reviews. It's supposed to be almost like a little a la Cronenberg, ultra violent. So I'm excited about that one. Then we've got Steven Soderbergh directed a haunted house movie, and it's called Presence. And this haunted house movie is through the perspective of the ghost. So we're getting a lot of different perspectives here.
And you were just joking for a good haunted house story.
Oh,
that's right. That's interesting. We haven't gotten that like in a while.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, new haunted house movie. And then okay. And then the last one we have, I'm actually incredibly excited for. It's called Freaky Tales, and it stars Pedro Pascal. And it's 4 interconnected stories, almost like think of like a Pulp Fiction, but actually better yet, think of Michael Dougherty's Trick or Treat.
Okay,
I'm a huge Trick or Treat fan.
Right?
Why did we not put that on a list for 2024? We're gonna have to sneak that in.
We'll figure it out.
We'll find it. We'll find a place to. Yeah. So Freaky Tales. It's giving me huge Trick or Treat vibes, and that's enough said.
Okay.
I can't wait to see that.
That's fun. Okay.
I mean, the only thing holding it back is Pedro Pascal, because that guy's such a hack. He's maybe my favorite actor. He's so good in everything.
You don't have a choice but to love him as a favorite actor, because he's in everything and he can play anything.
He's just, and then they're announcing the additional casting for The Last of Us, and then that's making me nuts.
I was just going to say that. They announced, so Caitlin Dever is going to be Abby. So she was in No One Will Save You.
I cannot believe it. I can't, I'm getting too excited about season 2. I don't even think, they haven't even started shooting it yet, so I got to slow my roll.
I don't think so.
The only thing,
pre-production, I think.
The only thing I did read is that don't expect it until 2025. Now, that's fine. I'm just hoping it doesn't turn into a 2026. I'll be fine with 2025, right?
Yeah. It's possible that you think the strikes maybe push that back a little bit. Maybe.
I hope not.
Or scheduling, because who knows what Pedro Pascal is, because, again, he does everything.
I know. You know what? I've got more Pedro Pascal news. It broke my heart. Zach Cregger's, who did Barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro Pascal was in his new movie called Weapons and had to drop out. So that was because of I guess they're doing a Mandalorian movie. Okay, look,
yeah, they are.
You know, I'm sure the bag of money was enormous, you know.
And I'm like sad, I'm like, but then okay.
Jeez, I hope I got that name right. I'm fairly certain it is Zach Cregger's who did Barbarian. I'm gonna feel like a prize a-hole if that's not it, but I think it is. So, Shannon, that's all I got. You know, how about you? You want anything before we wrap it up?
You stole my news about Caitlin Devers, but it's that's okay. By the way, it is Zach Cregger who did Barbarian.
Okay. All right.
Just want to remind, one more thing. I just want to remind the sinners about February 3rd.
You stole it right out of my mouth.
at the Red Zone in West Babylon. If do you want to let them know what's going to be there on February 3rd at 3 p.m. in West Babylon at Red Zone?
Sinners, John Sweet Boy Lovely Face has put together a Squid Games starting at 3 p.m. on February 3rd at the Red Zone, home of Long Island's Best Wings, home of John Sweetface Lovely Boy, cover model of Handsome Boy magazine, January 2024. The food is incredible. The staff is incredible. The game is going to be incredible. Shannon's husband, Matt, is going to be dressed head to toe as a Squid Game guard with a Nerf gun. And if you get a question wrong or a task wrong, you get shot and you're dead and you're out. Now, you don't have to leave. You can then eat more and drink more. But this is going to be such a fun day, and I can't wait for it.
It's exciting. So it's going to be a cash prize. So if you want to go, and it depends. And the cash prize is going to keep growing the more opponents or participants.
More people join.
Yeah. So it's I think it's $40 to enter, but if there is space the day of, it's going to be $50 to enter.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's February. You're doing nothing, Long Island. Get to the red zone. Play Squid Games. This is such a clever idea. John he's really pulled out the stops with the cookies and the games, and Matt as a wacko guard who's going to shoot people, not to death. It's just Nerf.
Just Nerf.
Get that out there.
You'll be fine.
And the bar's incredible, and the food's even better. So on a dreary, even if it's sunny out, it's February, it's still dreary, freezing February day, come down to the red zone and have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Meet me and Shannon. I said that like it's enticing to anyone. Shannon and I will be signing at the new Toys R Us at the Paramus Mall. Come and see us.
I was walk past. I was like, "Who the fuck are these guys?"
Yeah, I literally didn't know what the hell you looked like until I bumped into you. Well, look, we're big in our own minds, you know. All right. Well, look, this is so weird because this is actually our first video. This is going to be on YouTube. I can't wait for people to leave comments like, I didn't know you were so fucking old, Sean, and stuff like that. But I don't know what to do now because when we're just doing audio, I have no problem being silly when you sign us out, but I'm going to feel real weird about doing it on camera. But I'm still going to do it.
Yeah, you should do it still.
All right, so Shannon, take us out of here.
And that's a cut.
Oh my God. I'm gonna go drink some gasoline.